Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about my journey to Australia. For the first 2.5 years of my life, I grew up in a small city called Anshan. It is in the northeast part of China and it is in the Liaoning province. As I would like to say, one river across from North Korea. At a young age, my music was very important to me. My grandfather owned a music shop in China, and it was expected for all of his children to learn a single instrument at the very least. And that is how I got into music. Because my dad learned violin, I also had to learn the violin. As a 1.75 generation immigrant, I definitely didn't know what was going on during my time in Australia. All I do remember is that when I was in China, I went to one day of preschool and not enjoying it. My earliest memories of coming to Australia was walking to preschool with my grandma. My grandma and I would get off the 525 bus that came from Parramatta and walk down Burwood Road and get to my preschool. At the Burwood preschool, I remember doing so many fun, creative activities, such as finger painting and drawing. I even remember napping to classical music. I think a lot of my creativity came from those years at preschool. I didn't even want to leave, but at the end of the day, I thought my parents would not get me as the rest of my classmates would get picked up by their parents. Still remember the teacher saying, "Mummy's coming soon." I think that was my first ever English sentence as well. Growing up, Western classical music has been the core of my life. As from 2.5, I've been playing violin. I was taught by my father on how to listen to classical music. And this made me more musical. But at 9 years old, I was rebellious and also a little bit unco. I was not loving music at all. I wanted to quit music altogether. After many years of not loving violin technical exercises. But my mother pushed me to pick a new instrument. And after a year-long hiatus, I picked to do choir singing. And then at 12, I started playing piano. To be honest, piano was different. I finally understood what hard work meant. I needed to put in the time and effort to learn A, M, E, B grades, but I also had learned how to be diligent and hardworking with the help of my Eastern parents' constant overwatch. My teachers in Australia allowed me to be free and understand the emotion and meaning behind works and not to be boring, but to truly love music. One way of loving music was being able to branch out and listen to other genres of music, such as jazz, and even what I am doing today, opera. You're currently listening to my rendition of Hit the Road Jack by Ray Charles. In my opinion, I think coming to Australia at such a young age and still going back to China every year, and even knowing the Chinese language, allowed me to understand both worlds, Chinese and Australian. I think I have both Western and Eastern thinking within me. The Western thinking allowed me to love music for the style, emotional feeling it brings, but the Eastern style in me tells me to be diligent, respectful, and humble to everything you do, especially in music. To me, these values are the most important. To finish up this video, I think that coming to Australia for 20 years now has allowed me to become a fusion of both Western and Eastern culture, where I get to pick and choose the good from both cultures. I think the journey to the West has definitely been fruitful, and I do want to thank my parents for letting me broaden my horizons and to understand both cultures at such a complex level. 谢谢妈妈，谢谢爸爸。